Is the journalist with us, Todd?
Any minute.
Okay, Eric Nehm, the senior writer for The Athletic. He covers the Bucs. He was there when all the drama unfolded in the bowels of the stadium, the arena there. Let's bring in Eric, who joins us on the program. Help me understand here. Okay, is it Giannis who wanted the ball for Giannis, or did Giannis want it for Dame Lillard?
I mean, I think Giannis wanted it for Giannis. I think when Giannis had a chance to talk about it a little bit, he also wanted it for Dame because he realized, I have a Hall of Fame teammate with me. He just had a historic night as well. So we need that game ball as well. But no, I think more than anything, Giannis knew that was a franchise record, one of the few franchise records at this point that he doesn't have. He wanted that basketball. He didn't have it, and he needed to go chase it down.
How much of a factor was it that it was the Pacers and the Bucks, given what happened with the in-season tournament game?
I think the Bucks definitely wanted to get that game back last night. They've lost twice to the Pacers this year. The first game this year, Giannis had 54 points, and the Pacers were still able to come back from behind and grab a win there. So I don't think the Bucks enjoyed playing the Pacers all that much. I don't think they enjoyed the Pacers, having some fun at the Bucks' expense in the in-season tournament. Tyrese Halliburton is fantastic, but he did the whole, fake Dame time kind of thing. Is it my time now instead of Dame time? And you could kind of see that from the start of the game. Like at the very start of this game, Giannis gets a attack. He delivers a forearm shiver to Tyrese Halliburton as Halliburton's going back up the floor. So you can tell there's this kind of bad blood. I don't want to call it a rivalry quite yet. They haven't played playoff games. Like the Bucks have like full on playoff rivalries with like a team like the Heat. So it's not quite there yet, but yeah, it definitely has some of that. They're a little bit annoyed with the little brother here, kind of trying to, start something with the big brother.
Where is the game ball?
I mean, that all depends who you ask. Because after the game, like I'm sitting in the locker room and Giannis is 1,000% convinced that the ball that is in his possession sitting next to his locker is not the game ball from last night. Because every game, I mean, I learned a lot about game balls in NBA rules last night. But before every game, there's 3 balls. So you have 3 balls out there. The captains go out, they pick one of them, and then there's a reserve game ball. But also, from my understanding, there should be a reserve to the reserve game ball. So there should be 3 that are there. So Giannis thinks the ball that was put in front of him in the locker room after the game is the reserve game ball and not the actual game ball. And his reasoning was, I played 37 minutes. I felt the ball throughout the night. I shot 32 free throws. I know what it feels like. That is not what the ball feels like. So while they are telling him this is the game ball, and you can watch, right after the game, one of the Bucs security guards goes straight to the ref, grabs the ball, and from what I can tell, gives it to someone that works for the Bucs, and then the Bucs have the ball in their possession. But 20 seconds later, Tyrese Halliburton has a ball in his hands. Giannis sees it and thinks that's the ball. So honestly, it is all about who you believe at this point, because there are a number of people that I guess can account for the ball for some portion of the night, but can't account for the ball for other portions of the night. And now it is just who you believe. And this is one of the more ridiculous things I've ever covered in my time covering the league.
Worst look for the Pacers or Giannis?
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, probably Giannis. Like, he is someone that's accomplished a lot. He's been through a lot at this point. He should probably, not be allowing teams to kind of get underneath his skin in this way. But at the same time, whether or not the Pacers had the actual ball, once they're in the tunnel, they are yelling back to Giannis and all the Bucks players that have come along with them, don't let him have the ball. You're not getting the ball. So they enjoyed that, whether or not they had it, they enjoyed that Giannis thought that they had it. So again, I don't know that anyone really comes up looking great after this one, because it truly is a pretty ridiculous
Okay,
situation.
did you do any reporting on the Pacers with their tradition that their rookies, when they score their first basket, they get the ball?
Yeah, so that is something that they do, but because this story just keeps having more and more layers, it gets even more confusing because Oscar Shibwe technically scored before last night,
Against
but
the
he
Lakers.
right, but he did so in the in-season tournament. So now we have to figure out, is that an actual point? Because we're not sure how anyone's going to keep these records going forward. Because one, we don't know if the in-season tournament's going to exist going forward. We don't know how long it's going to exist going forward. We don't know if it was an actual game or a not actual game or just an in-season tournament game. So what's in an official NBA point at this point? What's an official NBA ball at this point? Which one's the real one? Which one's the fake one? None of us know anything, Dan. That's all I know at this point.
This is what I'm wondering. Now as we move on, when a rookie scores his first points, does he ask to stop the game so he can take the ball out of the game? So he does. There's no confusion in case somebody goes for 72 points in a game.
I mean, honestly, let's just go MLB style. And after every timeout, we'll get a new ball in there. We'll scuff it up. We'll make sure that's
Oh my
okay. If
God.
this is a free throw, you grab it, throw it back out, get a new ball in there. Like, what? Let's just go for it, Dan.
Do you think Giannis gets fined?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think you can have the situation where, you're running into a tunnel and making the scene. When you were talking to Rick Carlisle after the game, he mentioned that Pacers GM Chad Buchanan was in the tunnel and ended up getting bumped during that. Chad Buchanan confirmed with everyone that he's fine, and I don't think it's going to be a serious injury. But again, just the look of it all, a general manager kind of getting into it's not a scuffle, but whatever, some sort of physical altercation with a player, like, yeah, there's probably a fine coming.
Can't wait until they meet, what, January 1st in Indiana?
I mean, the beauty of it is it's January 1st in Milwaukee and then January 3rd in Indiana, a home and home. Just, I mean, it's going to be a lovely 48 hours. All the rivalry can be renewed and we can figure it out all over again. I truly can't wait.
Thank you, Eric. We appreciate your time.
I'm sorry, I have no answers at all.
Neither do we, Eric. Neither do we. Eric Nehm, the senior writer for The Athletic, covering the Bucks. Yeah, nobody ever said we had answers either. I ask questions. I don't have any answers. That's a good appearance by him.